So this is my third attempt to start this video. Let's hope everything works this time. All right. So normally I would have a scripted, well, relatively scripted, planned video. This is not that. This is just me with a cup of tea, having a chat about something important. And that is the question, is this a good time to start a handmade business? Is this a good time to start a business at all? Or is it a really bad idea in the current economic climate? A bit of background on my personal business journey, just so you have that in mind. I started my handmade business in 2008. For those of you who are old enough, you might remember that was the global financial crisis, which of course we didn't call it that at the time because it was happening and you don't usually name things till after the fact. And I had a secure job, full-time job at the time, and I was making a comfortable enough amount of money to cover my rent, which was a lot cheaper back then, let me tell you, and my bills and things like that. And I started my business as a hobby. Like, I had no intention of giving up my job and running a handmade business full time. That just wasn't really in my radar at that point in time. It kind of happened accidentally. If you're curious about that story, I'll leave a link up here. I talked about it in a previous video. But long story short, it was probably a pretty bad time to start a business. Things weren't great for a lot of people. And, especially those of you in the States, it was a pretty bad time over there. We sort of rode it out relatively well here in Australia. There wasn't like a massive financial crash like there was in other places. So it was okay. And also for me, I still was working my full-time job for the first, year and a half of running my business. And when I decided accidentally to go full-time, I had savings. I was living back in a barn on my parents' property. So little, lower living expenses. It was, a good position to be in to grow a business. So let me just talk about that briefly. If you have a secure job, now is not the time, I don't think, to leave that job, considering the climate. Now, what is a secure job? You might have heard me talk about this before if you've been around for a while. I actually am of the belief that having your own business is much more secure than having a job, because you have control over how much you work, what you do, how you earn your money. No one else can just, sit you down and fire you like they can when you have a job. But that being said, when economic times are difficult like they are right now, it's harder to make a living running a business because people don't have as much disposable income as they did. And the last, few years has been a real roller coaster when it comes to financial situations for a lot of people. Things were doing really well in general, I think, economically until 2020. And then we had COVID, and that was both a boon and a bust for a lot of people. Like, for those of us running a handmade business, a lot of people started and grew and exploded their businesses at that time because everyone was shopping online. So anyone who started or wanted to grow an online business at that time, especially selling the right things, did amazingly well. And I think that gave a lot of people a false sense of security or a false sense of what their business could look like. For those of us who'd been around for a long time, a lot of us saw some growth during that period. Some of us saw decline. I saw decline. Well, I wouldn't say decline. It was kind of steady because I'm in the wedding industry. So not many people were buying wedding rings through COVID. Yeah, my other jewelry did well, but wedding rings particularly were not doing well. If you're curious about my shop, I'll put a link to it here, Ethereal. So, we had that happen, but then we also got here in Australia a lot of great financial assistance from the government. So it was actually a really good time financially for us through COVID because we got a lot of government assistance and our business did decline somewhat, but it wasn't like a complete disaster, right? A lot of people had the opposite experience where their businesses boomed and did really, really well. And now they're like, what the hell's happened? I'm not making any sales anymore. Okay, so we've gone from this period of COVID and then we've gone into a period of high inflation and interest rates rising. And so now we're living in this cost of living crisis, right? And food is going up, rents are going up, mortgages are going up. People simply do not have the disposable income that they had a few years ago. It just doesn't exist anymore because, let's be frank, our incomes are not going up, generally speaking, not anywhere near in line with what they need to match inflation. And basically, all of that means that now is a difficult time to sell something that is not an essential. If you are in a business that is selling something that is an essential, you're probably doing okay. But if you're in a business like mine, my jewelry, that is a want to have, a nice to have, but not a need to have, you might be finding it difficult. Again, lucky for me, I am in the wedding industry. People are always getting married, except during COVID. So, that is still doing okay for us. But, the other sort of people incidentally spending and just clicking around and buying stuff, that has declined a lot, especially among the younger demographics. If your demographics are baby boomers, if your ideal customer are the baby boomers, you're probably doing okay because they're the ones with all the money. But if your ideal customer is like millennials or Zoomers or God forbid, Generation Alpha, you're probably going to have a bit more of a difficult time right now. So all that being said, I'm still not going to tell you not to start your business. In fact, I'm going to tell you the opposite. I'm going to tell you to start, but start very small. Okay, if you have something that you are making, that you can make relatively affordably, or you already have the materials for it, or you already have the tools, and you have the ability to buy the things you need to buy in order to, make some stuff, then there is never a bad time, I don't think, to start a business. Because the sooner you start your business, the sooner you can grow that business, and the sooner you can learn all the things you need to learn in order to make that business a potential future success. Now, I do recommend that you do this as cheaply as possible. So, you do the online business model, or you attend affordable local markets, or you look into wholesale. Basically try to work out ways to sell that aren't going to cost you a hell of a lot of money, because you want to be lean. You want to run lean at this point in time. You don't want to take on a whole bunch of extra expenses that aren't adding value. Of course, there will be things that you will pay for because they do add value. I mean, I'm someone who runs a membership to help makers, right? My members have to pay to be in that membership to learn from me. So they are deciding that the value I'm giving them in that membership, the courses, the personal support, all that sort of stuff, is worth what they're paying for it. You might feel the same, you might not. That's cool. Like, everybody's different. And that's what it comes down to, is working out the things that are giving you return on your investment and spending your money in those places right now, and cutting out the other things that are not helping. Like, I get so many companies reaching out to me to be affiliates of them or do sponsorships on my channel. And I haven't got a big channel here. I say no to pretty much all of them, because they are not going to add value to you. Sure, they'd make me some money, but I would lose my integrity, because I'd be, spruiking for things that either are completely irrelevant, I won't name names, a certain food company, or I don't think they're a product that you need or that you would find helpful in this current climate or at this particular time. So I don't talk about them. I only talk about stuff that I think you will find helpful and useful and actually move your business forward. There is nothing worse than forgetting you have a cup of tea and putting it down, and then you pick it up and you go to drink it and it's too cold. So gross. So yeah, long story short, don't be afraid to start, but start lean, or just start learning. This is a perfect time to learn. To learn all the stuff that comes with starting and running a business, because that you can learn for free. You're right here with me. Hi. My YouTube channel is absolutely packed full of videos, and my podcast, which I've been running for over 10 years now, is packed full of knowledge and interviews with other successful makers. You can learn everything you need to learn for free on the internet, which is absolutely amazing. And you can start that process. I have my Your Year to Thrive course. It's a year-long course that you get a lesson a week every week, and it takes you through a syllabus of absolutely everything you need to know in order to start and grow a handmade business. And yeah, if you want to fast track things, you might come and join my membership, the Thriver Circle, and take that course. And in a year, you would have covered everything and someone else would have guided you through it. It's kind of like paying to go to TAFE or going to uni. You know, the point is you're paying someone who knows a little bit more than you to guide you through the syllabus and guide you through the learning. But if that's not your thing, or you are more self-directed, I'll be honest, I'm more of a self-directed learner. I like to figure things out for myself. Then go find the answers to your questions, find them for free online, work out how to sell your stuff. Learn about branding now, learn about photography now, experiment with stuff, play around with it. And then when the economic climate improves, because it will, it's always ups and downs, then you'll be ready. You know, you would have done all the hard work, you would have done all the foundational work to get your business up and running in a time when it will be better for you and for your business and for people's wallets. Do we even talk about wallets anymore? Who carries a wallet? Like, do you actually use cash? Who uses cash anymore? I just have my phone all the time. That's like tap everything. So yeah, I guess long story short, I just wanted to say, yeah, times are tough. And yeah, that may mean you have to change some things. Maybe you want to hang on to that job for a bit longer. Maybe you want to have a part-time job, or you want to start like a part-time job alongside running your business, or a casual job to bring in that extra money to close the gap right now. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. You know, we have to do what we have to do in life to get by and pay the bills, right? So do what you have to do and keep the dream alive, I guess. You know, keep the dream alive. You can still have this idea of, you know, having this business. It's still viable in the long term, even if it seems right now not so viable or it's not such a great time. So I don't know, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this, any responses to anything I've chatted about here. I just wanted to sort of lay it all out and, you know, get it off my chest as well, because it's something that Nick and I are thinking about. You know, we're doing okay, but our income is not increasing in line with the cost of living increases. So, you know, we have to think about, okay, how can we make more money? How can we close those gaps? It doesn't help that like all of our vehicles have died at the same time, and so we have like big bills, you know, that sort of stuff that happens. Life happens, you have these big bills coming at you and it's like, oh my god. But we'll be fine, and we'll figure it out, and you just do what you have to do to move things forward. So what are your plans? What are you thinking? How are you feeling about business right now? Are you starting a business? Are you trying to grow a business? Is your business struggling? Let us know below. And thanks for hanging out with me and watching this video, even though it's not kind of my usual thing. I do enjoy just hanging out and chatting with you as well. If you enjoyed that, let me know too. And I'll be back again soon with another video teaching you something else about how to have a thriving and profitable handmade business. Catch you next time. Bye for now.